much do you subscribe to this sort of innovation breakthrough that China has just come out with? I mean, as far as, I mean, maybe it's a bit of a cheeky question, but does China really need to retaliate to these tariffs so much if DeepSeek came out as such a sort of dark horse and wiped so much market cap off some of these big US names?
Well, on tariff side of thing, our base case is that the effective tariff rates on Chinese exports to the US will be raised from 10% at the moment effective to above 30%. So there's a 20 percentage point delta increase on that. And to soften or to counteract that rising tariff risks, we think that the RMB could go a bit lower.
Yeah.
So from 7.2, as you mentioned, to 7.5 by the end of the year. And on top of that, we could potentially get more fiscal policy support or response from the government in the month ahead. So there will be some policy offsets to the rising or kind of increasing external demand headwinds. But for the AI, I think this is something that the government has been focusing on for quite a few years and is not going to be stopped or interrupted by what's happening outside of China.
Yeah, I mean, it's had a name for a very long time, Made in China 2025. I mean, that's been a 10-year plan for many, many years. But I'm wondering, I was having a really interesting conversation with someone based stateside as well about this, and whether what we're seeing over in China as far as innovation in AI would be able to offset some of the deep structural issues, because they seem to be convinced that when it comes to such strides in this space, like innovation, for instance, there have been economies, there have been countries which have managed to get out of their sort of economic doldrums with some of these types of breakthroughs. Do you think that's the case with China?
I think the word you use, offset, is right, but I would add an adjective in front of it, is partial offset.
Okay.
It's not going to fully offset the structural downturns in the housing market, the aging demographics. At the margin, it will be helpful, don't get me wrong. But I think ultimately it comes down to how widely the AI technology will be adopted, at what cost. So I think before we get to more clarity in terms of the potential benefits and costs and for doing AI, I think right now it feels to us that the structural headwinds remain very much in place. Yeah. And we do need more policy support to counteract that.
Yeah, and that's what the market has been waiting and watching out for. Perhaps for too long. It's been 3 years. It's coming in bits and pieces. Never mind. We'll have to leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us your perspective on China. Really appreciate your time.